got Chows in this game. Metal Sonic, Shadow, and tons more. Each of them have their very own cars, which all look insane. And as you can also see, each of the characters are split into 3 rows, and in those rows, they each have classes, which are power, technique, and speed. And they all have special abilities. For example, the speed ones just generally have faster top speed and faster acceleration, whereas the technique ones are able to do things like just drive over grass, which is really handy. You can cut all them corners with the technique class. Then you can move on to customization. There's 2 different ways to customize. The first one is with different parts. So you can kind of tweak your car to give it more acceleration, less handling, or the opposite with all different parts, which is kind of cool. And then my favorite part, you can customize the colors. So you can go for a wacky scheme, you can go for a normal scheme, you can go for a cool scheme, you can do whatever you want, but then you can apply them to all 3 cars. So you kind of have your own team colors. There's different paints, shiny ones, matte ones, normal ones, but then there's also decals, so you can add stars and fire, and then you can add horns too, like these ones. So as you're looking at the gameplay, we are playing as a team of 3. I'm on the top left, and then the 2 devs are playing on the other screens. And let me just go over a few different ways you can work together in this game. And the first one is that you can pass each other items. So you can pass each other weapons, which are also known as wisps in this game. You collect them and you get stuff like, there's one that's a drill, there's one that just fires like a missile. So for example, if you have a speed boost wisp up front and you don't really need it yet, you can pass it back and trade it with one of your friends that's further down the pack so that they can use the speed boost and get you more points by gaining positions. It's actually really cool. But if you're on the receiving end of a wisp and you get hit and you spin out, obviously your speed goes to 0. But if one of your teammates runs past you through these golden arches by your car, they can do something that's called a skim boost, which will bring you straight back up to speed straight away rather than you needing to accelerate from 0, which is really, really handy. A great recovery method if you're getting hit by all kinds of wisps. Now, one of my favorite things, because I wasn't that good at this game, is that the person who is in first leaves a golden trail behind them. And I'm pretty sure that's called the slingshot trail, because the 2 teammates behind can get in that golden slipstream and get a speed boost, which is really cool. And then if you overtake the person that was creating the trail, you get even more of a slingshot boost. So then you can kind of chain it and overtake each other. The way you can combo these abilities is crazy. So that's one of my favorites, because I was down back in the lower end of the pack. So being able to follow that golden trail from a good player meant that I could keep up. Now, why would you want to work as a team? Well, first off, your points are all added together. So as I mentioned before, someone who's in first will get the maximum amount of points, but people down 11th or 12th will get the lowest amount of points, and then they're all added together. So if another team ended in the middle of the pack, they're going to have more overall points than you and eventually win. But there is another reason why you want to work together, because the more you work together, the more you build up your team ultimate meter. And when that is full, oh boy, you get quite the advantage. So the more skin boosts you give to other players in your team, and the more wisps you trade, and the more slingshots you do, the more you build up your team ultimate bar. And when you use it, you get this golden boost of energy, so you are faster than everyone else, you are invulnerable to wisps and weapons, and you can also bash into other teams and make them spin out. It's so powerful. And the devs told me that if you're racking up like 2 team ultimates in a race, it's almost impossible to finish badly because it's just so good. The only way you can build it up is by working as a team, so you have to make sure you're doing that. What other things are in the game? Rings. That's a classic thing in Sonic. So the more rings you collect in this game, the faster you are, but there's no cap on the rings. So you can get like 100 rings and you will have an incredibly good speed boost. But as soon as you get hit by a wisp, all of those are gone and you have to start from 0, back to your normal max speed. What's also cool about this is there is a story mode, so you can play through the story mode, learn about the game, but then when you've completed that and you feel like you've got your skills and your team set and ready, you can take those online. So you can have up to 4 teams of 3 playing online against each other. And if you get these techniques